Yeah, guys, this is a part of winter I absolutely hate shoveling. And not only that, this is like the wet snow that's freaking heavy. And my old ass don't feel like it. But you're single, so you have no choice. Can't rent a man for the season. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be reviewing the Morgan Dane series. And I decided, I'm going to use a bookshelf as a backdrop. So I did some changes, not much. I still need to do something about the bottom because they're not by size, so they look a little neater. But I put one of my real plants. This is a real plant, snake plant, just to see what it would look like with a plant right there. I'm going to probably buy something else that's a little bigger. And then we have, I just rearranged a few stuff, not much. Work in progress, guys. I can't wait to get my hanging plants for the top. So guys, I'm going to be talking about the Morgan Dane series. So it is the second longest series I've read in a while, 6 books. But it's totally different from Ethics because this one is a crime thriller. It is it has some romance in there, but it's basically a crime thriller. And it has different each book has a different case. So where in this book you have a lawyer. She was a prosecutor. Her name is Morgan Dane. That's why the series is called Morgan Dane. And in this book, she was put in a position where she had to defend a young man in her community who was accused of a crime, who was accused of a murder. And she went from being the person who usually prosecute and put the person in jail to now defending. So she's now on the other side. So it was a new territory for her, and how she went about the case and how she was able to prove her client's innocent is what made her started to go on the other side of being a defense lawyer. She also has the help of a man that used to be in her life when she was younger, Lance. He's a very nice guy, very take charge. He's a detective, former detective, so he has that background which should help her as a lawyer to get cases. There's also an older gentleman that is also in their life as far as their businesses surrounding each cases, their clients they have to protect. It's also have elements of family. Morgan is a widow, and she has children, and they're young children, and she is now having to raise them by herself without her husband who passed away. She also has the help of family. So in this series there's a lot of family interaction going on. Lance also has a complicated relationship with his mother. His mother suffers from a form of mental illness, but she is very smart. She's very savvy when it comes to computers, and so she's perfect to be on their team, but she's unbalanced in terms of the outside world. There's the kids are very adorable in this story. So it's you get a combination of all of that while she's constantly in danger, because each story is something. It's kind of like she's up the ante of the danger she put herself in and how she survived. So each book has a different name, and it was hard to remember what each book was named. So the first one is called Say You're Sorry, and this one it wasn't the best out of all of them. I think it was just a taste of getting into the series, and I'm glad I didn't use this to judge the series, because this one was like an okay start, because the series just got so much better as she wrote the series, each book in the series. The second one is Her Last Goodbye, which I was like, oh, okay, oh, this series is getting really good. So it was, it kept my attention and made me want to read more. The third one, which is Bones Don't Lie, is still, I am out of all of them, the one that really through me, because up until the very end you did not know who the killer was at all. It was, when the killer was revealed, I was shocked. I was just like, did not see it coming. I even tried to like go back and see was there little clues, and it just wasn't, because she did an awesome job on the third book of you know, not revealing who the killer was. What I've done is another interesting one where there was multiple character in this case, where you kind of wasn't sure how innocent the person was, or was the person somewhat involved. So I thought that was a clever one. Of course, she always gets you at the end where she puts, you know, herself in trying to escape, but her partners always end up in some kind of way, you know, issues. And then the fifth one was Secrets Never Die, which I was like, okay, good one. And there's a character that was introduced in this one that was in the last one, which is Save Your Breath. And the Save Your Breath, out of all of them, I would think is the most different in terms of, it was the client really innocent, and there were a few things that happened throughout the story that you kind of not sure if this is a case of innocence or this is a case of cover-up, or it's just so many elements in the last one that I was just like, oh, okay. But overall, she hasn't disappointed me at all. I would say this is a series that is, I wish could be on, you know, picked up by a network, because it's really a made for TV kind of series. It will get your attention. It has that sweet family element, and again, there's a bit of romance, but it's just not enough where it takes away from the story. It's just sprinkled in there to add something to the story. And it gives you, you know, a lot of things where you talk about prosecutor, you talk about small town crime, and how the network of lawyers and judge and people within that area, how you know, tight knit, but also the ego goes into a lot of decisions that they make, that sometimes the bad guy, good guy, you know, go to jail, and you kind of see where are they for the innocent person, or they're trying to make a name for themselves. So that happens too in this, where I thought that was interesting. I really thought the author Belinda Lee was like maybe in that area. No, she's a former banker. So I was kind of like, oh, okay. It was a little surprising, because I don't know why I thought in my head she was going to be like, her former career was in that area, but it's just not. But she did a really good job. If you're looking for a crime thriller that's fast-paced, that has twists and turns, and it also has, even though it is pretty much a rated R, there's not a lot of vulgar language in this. That's why I feel like it's really a made for kind of TV kind of book, because they kept it very all about the case. And there is this whole idea of the woman being a hero in this story. So I like that, where the men are behind her and she's, you know, the hero. So I'm always, you know, here for characters like that. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. But I'm gonna tell you, if you can't tell by that, you know, by my second talks of this, because I think I did it the last year in Vlogmas, I love the series. I think it's one of those like series that a lot of people don't really talk about, even though she's sold over 8 million copies I think of most of her books, so she's known, but I don't see a lot of people talk about this series at all. So it is on Kindle. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get it on there, and this is where I pretty much was getting it, and that's how I got introduced to it, to be honest with you. Sometimes Kindle just introduce you, suggest you books, and you just kind of like, let me try. And this was one of those situations where the Kindle Unlimited suggested this book, and I read it, and I was just like, yeah, I was hooked. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day. Bye.